All right, good evening. Welcome to the Let's Stay Together talk show. Your host, Reverend Rick McCain, along with my baby, my girl, my boo, Brenda McCain. How you doing, baby?
Brenda is doing well.
Before we start, I'm going to tell you to pass me that water bottle here. All y'all out there in Soar Radio, we want to send our love to you. Hope you had a blessed Tuesday. And you're going to be joining us the show. We got a good show coming up. This is our last time we're going to be doing a show without any guests. And I think May we have guests. Brenda has lined up some powerful women that are going to be on the show with us. It's going to be May is going to be Brenda's Women Month because she's going to have
Ladies, come through for
Yeah.
me.
it's ladies month, and they got some powerful ladies going to come on there, featuring on Leslie, which will be coming back to us as well. So we got a great show coming up there. We got some great topics we're going to talk about, and we're going to hope you all enjoy the show. Let somebody else know about the show. We're on Soar Radio, 2-time Stellar Award winner for Best Internet Station of the Year, Facebook, and on YouTube. So check it out. Baby, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Just getting used to the weather, the change of the weather. My body's not adjusting well. My allergies acting up, but I'm doing good.
Yeah, and I'm thankful that the weather, we're actually having a spring, in the Midwest, because a lot of times it doesn't seem like we have a spring. So we're actually having a spring, which is great. So we're thankful for that. Hey, we're praying for all these colleges out here that are protesting with the Palestinian Israel situation. They're protesting in certain colleges for even condoning or supporting some of the things that happen in Israel, and we're praying for Jewish and Palestinian people. This is it's a sad thing that's going on in the United States, because a lot of people are trying to say that we shouldn't support one or the other, and it's a tough situation, but it should not lead to violence. That's the situation. That you can protest, you don't have to agree with me, but let's cease the violence. Let's see if we can do something the right way. I mean, all of this has been done the wrong way on both sides of Palestine and Israel. But it doesn't need to reflect what we do here in the United States. Let's be the example of how you should come together and love, and not in anger or in violence. So we're praying for that situation is there as well. I could say that I'm praying for my former president, but I'm not. But you've heard that Donald Trump has got a case going on right now, and so that situation has gotten a little bit more powerful, because they're getting a lot of information about him with the hush money that he was paying the porn star, and he might be convicted for that, and possibly even going to jail, because the judge has threatened that they're going to put him in jail if he doesn't, stop, violating his the word I can't think of it. He's not supposed to talk.
A gag? What?
Gag order, thank you. And he's not supposed to talk, and so of course, they're fining him $1,000 here and there, which means nothing to Trump. He gets more of that. He gets $1,000 from people buying his gym shoes, or just sending him money. It's a real.
No.
I mean, so it doesn't do anything to him. But now they're talking about throwing him in jail. So I would love to see that, him throw him into jail. But just a couple of things that happen around the world, and you have anything you want to share with us, contact us at Let's Stay Together Talk Show at gmail.com, or go online on Facebook and give us your comments, and we'll be more than happy to share those comments. Babe, I'm doing all the talking. You got anything you want to share or before we get on to the show?
No, let's get in there. We've got a lot of great topics.
Let's get into it. What we got?
For Christian Real, we have, do we really believe God never fail?
I was thinking about this, and the top, the top topic here, or the top narrative is, Christian Real. That's our top narrative that we talk about. And I think we have gotten to a point where we have become phony with our worship. we'll, in God there is no failure. We have these songs that God will never fail, and we got these scriptures, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and all these scriptures that we quote to make it seem like there is no failure in God. And a lot of us are in the church and have left the church, to be honest, because we have felt that God has failed us in a situation of our life that we were calling on him for, and God did not answer according to how we wanted him to answer. So we hear that, if God doesn't do anything else for me anymore, he's done enough. And that sounds great, but that's not how we feel. We don't want God to do nothing else for us anymore. We want God to do that. There was an old thing, and I'm gonna let my baby talk, but there was an old cartoon that used to say, "There's no need to fear. Underdog is here." And Underdog would be the hero that would come and save, wasn't it Polly Purebred from disasters, of criminals coming against us. And then we had Batman and Superman and Aquaman and every kind of man, these fictitious heroes that we made in our lives that could save today, that when we're going through some trials and tribulations, all we've got to do is put the bat in the sky or call out for Superman, and you'll see the S or whatever it was in the sky, and they would come and save the day for us. Why didn't God do that?
I like the way you put that together. That's because those are things that's tangent and you could see it, and you can't see God, but if you enter God and seek him, you could see his wondrous work. But we have to see it and be able to touch it and know that God is here. It's like, you're my God and you'll never fail me, but I'm praying to something that I can't see and things ain't working out for me. So it's like God is failing me, but we got it all wrong. It's like as many times as we didn't fail God, he still love us. He still give us second and third and fifth and 100 times. But when we just think this one occurrence, I'm done with this dark, this God trickery, this stuff not real. People want me to give up my life. I was doing so much better doing sin or sinning in the world. Now I gave my life to God, and it just don't seem like I'm being prosperous. Don't seem like anything going right for me. But it seems to me, this is the other side. It seems to me God is failing me. God's not failing you. God's not testing you. God is being God. You got to get in alignment with God. And if you can't do that, you're always going to see the negative side of God. And that's what Satan wants you to see.
Okay, Evangelist McCain, you took it all the way to the end of the story.
Oh,
I'm at the no judgment beginning of the story.
Oh, okay.
So we can actually just allow people to vent and share about how they felt God has failed them. I asked God to save my mother, but she died. I told God, I just got this car. I just got this job. And now you telling me this company is about to fold. God, I need this job. And the job closes. I lost my car and my house. And now I'm living back with my mama, with my 2 kids. God did not answer me the way I wanted him to do. God failed. God, I prayed that when I went to go take the test, that it wouldn't come up cancerous. But yet it came up cancerous to a point that they're saying that I might not have any time to live. God, I came to you as your word says. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and righteousness, and all other things will be answered unto you. I came to you through your word, but yet I got the news that I wasn't looking for. And now I've got to be concerned about my life. I feel like God has failed. And so there are people out there who have tried to walk the Christian line, having, strong faith in God, and girl, I know God will never fail. And you know how we say that we testify and we test a lie because you feel out of place if you say to somebody, I don't know, I love God, but there's been times that I've went to him and he hasn't done what I asked. And I don't want to sit here and be phony like God will do exceedingly abundantly more than I can ask or think, and yet God hasn't even done the one thing that I asked him for. I don't want to feel that way. I want to be able to say, I feel like God has failed me. Now, Evangelist over here already took you to the end. She ended the story already. Evangelist. So Evangelist is going to have to come back and say that. Evangelist, Brenda McCain, who's, a good speaker and been at churches speaking and testifying and things like that. So Evangelist has already took you to the end. But I want to deal with the pain of where you are right now. Feeling that you're calling to God and he's not answering.
Okay, I only could do this through a testimony.
Okay.
That the question always came up when certain things came in my life that I said, why me? Why do I have to go through this? Why do I have to bear the pain of this? It was just horrible. And I never forget when my mom said, why not you? And I got so mad at her. I'm like, why would you say that? And she said, no one is exempt from what God is going to put us through. God is the only one that's at the top. He's the head of the world. So if he chooses to put you through something, it's a growing and learning experience if you could come out of it, especially if you come out of it unscathed. Now, like I said, I only could talk about this through testimonies that when I went through things, it was God. Again, why me? It wasn't on the level of losing a job, losing a car, losing a house. It was losing a life that God has spared me to have these testimonies. And I say this because you can't make this stuff up. When I tell people, like Rick just said, when I go to do a speaking engagement, struck by lightning, deaf in my right ear, robbed at gunpoint, first time and the last time I hope I ever see a gun that close, gun wedged into my right temple, which I say, I learned how to align my eyes, appendix rupture, being sexually harassed, abused at work. And it's like, what do you do? And I kept crying out, God, why me? And God just said, you're going to have a story to tell. And the thing is, it's not that easy. We know that. But it's like we're going through this. And not one time, even though I asked, why me? I never said God failed me. And I know that's the next thing people will say. Well, it seemed like he ain't did nothing for you, but I'm alive. Each one of those things was instances that circumstances in the instance that I could have been dead, but he spared me for a reason. So I always will worship him and call out his name. And I know people say, well, your story is a little different than mine. It is, but to me, if you got God on your side, you know in the end it's going to progress to something beautiful. You just have to have that faith. But as you put in the story, Rick, we walking through this. I ain't thinking about God. God done did this to me. He ain't caring for me. He ain't listening to me. He's hearing everything that you say.
Yeah, and I'm going to let Evangelist Brenda over here keep on spewing all that good Christian stuff. And she's going to be the holy healer for this testimony. But that does not help me because God answered for you. He helped you. You went through some trials and tribulations, but he helped you. God, I asked him for things and he didn't respond. He didn't give me the answers I was looking for. You're giving testimonies. I'm telling you about the times that I tried to testify and God did not allow me a testimony.
That just wasn't your testimony at that time.
And I think the thing of it is that we have Christians out there. We've had people who have left the church for many of reasons. God hasn't answered. The pastor was this, the church was that, the people was that, and we left because we didn't get from the church or from God the answers that we wanted, that we were searching for. And there is a difference between God not answering your prayers and God not giving you the answer to the prayer you want. So that means I'm asking God not to allow me to have cancer. But then I find out on my birthday, I got cancer. God didn't answer my prayer. So does that mean that God failed me because I didn't get what I wanted? And here's something that we never look at. We always look at what we want from God. But as Christians, we never look at what God requires from us. And so we want God to do. We don't want to follow. I want you to do what I say, God. You ever heard when your mama say, do what I say, not what I do. And so we want God to do what we want, but we don't want to follow what God tells us what to do. And so then there's a gap there because we're supposed to follow God. And if we say, well, I am following God, I go to church every day, I go to church every Sunday, is that following God? That's a portion of following. You're being obedient to go to the church. But how is your life living? How are you living your life? Have you placed yourself in the situation where you caused the problem that's in your life? But that's okay, because I know some of you are saying, well, I know I did, but God said that he'll never leave me or forsake me. Has he? Evangelist, has he?
No, he never left or forsake me.
Oh, you got more than that. Come on.
Oh,
Speak. Speak to me, evangelist.
I'm listening to you praying for certain things, and I get that. Like, our things are so separate because I never pray, God, don't let me get robbed. God, don't let my appendix rupture. God, don't let this man abuse me. I never prayed for that not to happen. I was put in a situation, and it made me think, like, when you're saying that, God, I don't want this cancer. I never, that's something I can pray for. I never want breast cancer. I never want this. And it is something that you pray for, the beg and plead with God, please don't let me get this with certain things. And when you end up getting it, it's like, how do I supposed to continue to trust you, God? Because in my mind, you're failing me with this, just like with a relationship. So how can I trust you with something else? Like I said, we got it backwards. It's like God is the be all, and that's it. It's like if you're not saved or a seasoned Christian, a babe in Christ, you probably won't get it. But when you seek God out and pray, and you read the Word and have that blind faith, you gotta have that blind faith that even though this came, I got the situation going on in my body, but I'm trusting you to heal me. And the key words is to let your will be done.
Yeah.
And when we say that, God, let your will be done, we know what we say. God, eradicate any cancer in my body, eradicate the financial woes I'm going. We want all the positive to happen. But we know in general, that's not what's going to happen. God put us through things. And just as my mom said earlier today, every action has a reaction that leads to a circumstance that you're going to endure. If you did something in the past, is something going to come, whether good or bad. I'm not just saying that, oh, you asked for cancer, that's you did something wrong, cancer came. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying you have to have that blind faith and expect God, not the doctor, but expect God to be the one to handle all your situations.
Yeah, and the thing we got to be careful with is that it's not necessarily that you have to experience what I've experienced, because all of us have experienced failure. You've lost a job, you've lost a car, you've lost income, you've lost relationships. So it doesn't have to be Well, I've never experienced that. Because now you're singling the experience, and the experience is not really the main thing. It's the failure I felt from the experience, that somehow I was looking for someone to be my superhero, and they did not provide superhero assistance the way I felt that they should. Because we make superheroes, fictional superheroes, so they can accomplish the things that we want. That's why we have a Batman or a Superman, you know, Aquaman, and, you know, an underdog, a Mighty Mouse. You know, that's why we have those characters, because they're there to facilitate the expected outcome that we want. So we can create them to do scenarios that we've experienced, and then they come and provide what we want. We give them godlike qualities because we want them to give us godlike experiences. And so that's what happens sometimes. We want the godlike experience from what happened to us. We just don't like the fact that God didn't give us what we wanted based on the superhero characters that we've invented. And so that's what happens in this world. We invent what we feel that's impossible and make it possible. And the Bible says there's nothing impossible for God. So I go back to the point and say, well, I asked God for it and he didn't give it to me. But this is what I want to say. It's not God's responsibility to answer your prayer the way you want it to be answered. You are God's creation. So God may not answer everything you want. I didn't know that I was going to have cancer. I just went to go get a test and found out that my PSA was high, then took another test and found that I had prostate cancer. And I found out that truly on my birthday. No joke, on my birthday. I found that out. And it was like a shock, because I was just going in for something else. Now, I found that my PSA level was high, and I did pray not to have cancer. But I got it. I was upset about it. I wasn't upset at God, but I was upset about it. But the decision that I made, that a lot of people who get upset with God don't make, is that I made the decision that God could use what I'm going through as a testimony. And that if he could use it as a testimony to help and heal others, then what he has let me have won't defeat me. That's why the Bible says no weapon formed against you shall prosper. I use that scripture to remove the negative of failure, to place it to a point that I was going to defeat. And I said, God is going to use this for his glory. And it's a mindset change. We want God to do everything for us instead of looking at the things that God allows to happen to us to glorify his name. The woman that had the 12 issues of blood for 12 years, she just touched the hem of Jesus' garment. Now, if she thought that God had failed her, she would never be there. She would have never went against the crowd. And if you know anything about the times of Israel back then, men were the only ones that were supposed to be out there. The women in the background, they wasn't even supposed to be anywhere close to the scenario. And she moved her way through them so she could touch the hem. Now, I want to hear. I want you to hear this. That's what she could touch. That's not necessarily what she wanted to touch. That's what she was allowed to touch. She was allowed to touch the hem, a small portion of his garment. She was ready to die. But she had faith enough to say, I've had this for 12 years. I'm not going to sit there and say God has failed me. I'm going to have faith that God will use this, and I'm going to go to him and just try to touch him. Now, we don't know if the woman's decision was to talk to Jesus, to cry to Jesus, but the only thing she got a chance to do was to touch the hem of his garment, the bottom part of it.
That is powerful.
And because of her faith, that she did not look at God as a failure, but looked at him that he could defeat what has caused her harm, she was healed. So it's up to you to change your mindset. Yes, there are many of us who have said God has failed me. But God is not going to count that against you. He's going to allow you to build your faith and trust so he can prove to you that he never fails. We see it in the book and we like, that's just in the book. Deuteronomy says, God, he'll never fail us. That's just in the book. It doesn't mean anything. I've had him fail me. No, you failed you. God didn't fail you. He hasn't left you or forsake you, but it's a mindset change. So somebody out there that is thinking God has failed you, recalibrate your thought process. Remove Satan from the equation, because that's what he wants you to think. Because how powerful of a story you hear in the Bible of a woman with 12 issues of blood being saved. Do you really think that she was going to say, one day I'm going to be in the Bible and I'm going to touch Jesus and he's going to heal me? How powerful of an example that God used that to bless the rest of us who are going through struggles. This woman who, gets struck in the ear from lightning, goes to a green ball, whatever that thing was, emerald ball, and tells people about how that changed her perspective, how she was almost going to get shot and killed. Change her perspective where she can help someone who was going through trials and tribulations, and says she thought she was going through a storm, but I found out that I was the storm.
Amen.
And that you can be that same individual too, with a changed perspective of not have God fail you, but God to use you to defeat issues of others. Evangelist, what you got for me?
I remember when we got married, what was that song called? If you can use me, Lord.
Yeah, if you can use anything, you can use me.
And I remember being so afraid to even have that come out of my mouth, because once you put it in the atmosphere, whether it's going to be Satan or God, and thank God it was God, that it's like, okay, not like I was Job or anything, but he used me. I didn't just wither up and die eternally from what I went through. I did counsel with other women, talk to them and everything, because usually you don't look like what you've been through. That is nothing but God. But sometimes you feel like what you went through, but God. And when that statement was out prominently for the last decade, but God, people was like, what does that mean? But God, he saved me. He spared me. He's using me. I have a testimony from it. I know life could be hard, and I know, nobody sitting at this table has been exempt from anything, but we just share our story from the power of what God can do for us. And if you trust and believe in him, it might not come when we want it, and they know we got a song for it, but it's always right on time when he's ready to deliver us to or deliver us out of something. I look back on my life, and then, as I say, 2 years shy of 60, and I'm like, God, I've been through a lot, but I'm grateful. I look at my husband, and when he got his prognosis, I was ready just to ball up and cry. And I remember the first day I did cry. But I'm looking at Rick, and I'm like, wait a minute now. This man, he's giving me faith and helping me, building me up, and it shouldn't have been that way. But from him being as strong as he is and was at that time, I had to change my perspective. Two who are faith walkers, it gets stronger and it get better.
I'm going to say something you said. You says that people said you don't look like what you've been through. And I'm going to say this. The reason that you look like what you've been through, because you haven't allowed yourself to go through it. When that woman says, you don't look like what you've been through, that's because you have not allowed God to take you through it. You allowing yourself to rest in that pain, in that trouble, in that situation, and you're not allowing God to carry you through. And you look at someone else and says, she didn't really go through this. I don't even believe that. She didn't have no hard times, because you don't look like what you've been through. And the thing of it is that that's what God does to those who trust him. You don't look like what you've been through. People sit there and say, you got cancer and you acting that way? Yes.
I'm still here.
Because I know what God has carried me through. And I know what he can do with what he's given me. And so I don't have to worry about that because it's in his hands. But when someone says to you, you don't look like what you've been through, that's a telltale sign that they're still going through. And they haven't allowed God to take them through the darkness. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, young lady, young man who's listening, who will hear this. You have to be willing to let God take you through. Instead of saying you don't look like what you've been through, you should say, hey, testify to me how you made it through so I can walk the same way.
Right.
That I can make it. What's your test? How did you make it out? Evangelist Brenda. That's your new name now. Evangelist Brenda. How did you make it out, Evangelist? Because I need to know how you made it through, because I'm stuck right now and I need a testimony of how you made it through your darkness.
Well, I'll tell you this much. Prayer is no joke. Pray. I remember with the first incident with the lightning strike, I mean, who gets struck by lightning? And I keep thinking, okay, God, you, as they say, you make plans, God sees them as jokes or whatever that saying is. I just know this. If you're a believer of God, have faith. If you're a believer of God, you can't straddle the fence. If you're a believer of God, walk with God. Let him take the wheel. Let him lead the way. Don't overstep God. And see, everything I went through was from 19 to 24, I believe. 19 years old to 24. And my joke when I used to do the story about my life, it was like, can you hear me now? Because he took my hearing in my right ear. And it's like, everything I went through, it's like, okay, this girl, I'm going to have to show her again. Because I was like, okay, I mocked God. And I always tell people, don't do that. Don't. When you play with God and people say, uh-oh, let me move in case she gets struck by lightning. And I used to get so angry when I heard that joke. Because it's like, you know what? I look at it as do right by me. Because your life might be spared. If you didn't see, I've been through 4 near deaths and he spared me for me to reach people and to talk to people to try to live their life right, then I will keep that person close. That's just me.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to probably talk about this another time. We hope you all was listening to that because do you really believe God never fails? I mean, it's all about changing the perspective. The answer is no. God, yes, or God, no. No, God never fails. Or yes, God will never fail you. It's how you look at it. If you look at it as a failure and not something that you can defeat with God, then you will see God failing you. But wonderful thing about God is he's still there waiting. He said he'll never leave you, forsake you, waiting for you to return to him and say, God, forgive me. It wasn't that you failed. I allowed myself to be defeated. Now I, in Jesus' name, want to walk through this and defeat it so I can be like Evangelist Brian and not look like what I went through. And we got some songs we're gonna play here. This song goes straight with what we was talking about. This is from J.P. Morton and Dwayne Woods. It's called "Let Go," and it says "Let God." You're gonna listen to that, couple of commercials, and we'll be right back. For those of you all on Facebook and YouTube, you're gonna be staying with us because we're gonna talk about some stories. Hey, this is Drifting Kane, along with my baby, my girl, my boo, Brenda, Evangelist Brenda. Yeah, my baby, my girl, my boo, Evangelist Brenda. We are coming to you right back after these songs and commercial breaks.
Okay, let's just start off with Dalton, Illinois.
Oh, God. But please tell people, Dalton, Illinois is kind of around us in the Illinois area, suburbs. And I usually don't do a lot of stories about surrounding areas around here. But this sister become the black Donald Trump over here in Dalton, Illinois.
Or the mafia queen.
She done lost her mind. But go ahead and let me just, throw that little prelude out there. But go ahead.
Yeah, it's an embarrassment. She's the first African woman.
African American?
African woman to be a mayor.
African American or African? Because there's a difference.
African American woman to be the mayor in Dalton. And she has showed out. Showed up, showed out, and just did everything wrong. But she is, to me, going by Trump's playbook. Because it's like, wow, you really think you are untouchable. So untouchable that the law firm drops Village of Dalton as client, says it hasn't been paid. Now you got the Delgado Law Group representing you. And they like, we have to get paid. We did not do this pro bono. We didn't say we was going to volunteer. We got records saying that you must pay us, and you didn't. So I don't know why they upset that they dropped them, but they are. And it was like the board recently voted to stop paying our legal bills.
Yeah, I mean, this girl has went through a lot. I mean, she's been here and just caused all kinds of problems, lying to the village people about things that she's going to do. She's going to have this new swimming park around here that's never came up, and skating rink. I don't even think they even have one or not. All these kind of lies, and she's, one time she was going to give away $1 million, even though the city wasn't even paying their own bills. The FBI has came down against them for investigating because she's doing bribery things of people don't give some money to her campaign. She's not giving them licenses for their businesses. She got all these people suing her, and on top of that, the county, the city is going to go into bankruptcy soon because it's not paying its bills. They can't pay for their police cars, and so they may lose that. I mean, it's just all kinds of mess. And this girl still is walking around like she the baddest thing since Swiss cheese. And now the law firm that's representing the city and her they said, we're done. You ain't paying us no money. We can't do this. We ain't gonna do this for free. But it's, I don't know. The law firm just didn't realize they didn't have no money. But Donald Trump has done the same thing, not paid a lot of his lawyers. But Donald Trump is a millionaire. There's no millionaire here. Well, he's got some money sitting around somewhere, I can best believe. But you can't do that. And so now, I don't know what's eventually you're going to see her arrested. But it's amazing how she's walking around here talking about she the super mayor and all this. And township. She's over the Thornton Township here in the Chicago suburbs out here, south suburbs. She is causing a mockery, and let's just face it, African American people are not happy about this because you're giving us a bad name. With us, one does it, all of us do it. One white person can do something. Oh, well, that's an aberration. That doesn't really happen. We don't have that kind of stuff. They invented crime. We know this. I'm just telling you. I'm sorry. If anybody white just listening to y'all, y'all invented crime.
And y'all know y'all did.
Okay.
So.
You know, Donald Trump has refined the ability to get away from crime like nobody. Beretta used to say, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. He has tried to change that. Do the crime and don't do no time.
Yeah, he
But
sure
this
is working on
sister,
that one.
this sister is going to do the time because you ain't getting away with this. The FBI have subpoenaed her and staff members. When the FBI starts getting involved in stuff like this, you better start making some deals. And if she's not, if you're anywhere in around the Chicagoland area, if you can get Chicagoland news, and I'm sure once she gets arrested, it's probably been in other cities, major cities, talking about this. It's going to be something that you're going to hear about when she gets arrested because she has pretty much stolen from the community, and it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, and I'm glad it was the FBI last week, this week, has gone and confiscated papers or documents and stuff. So I was thinking about with Trump, Mayor Dalton, are you hiding all the important papers in the bathroom near the toilet stool? Because that's what he did. But it's like, how are you upset? You didn't see this coming, but I guess with her, she thought she had all the ducks in a row of all the stuff that she's going to do that might incriminate her. But the thing that gets me just was a couple months ago, I'm at Walmart, pink limousine, woman on bullhorn, come get this money. I'm giving away $1 million. And I'm like, that was crazy. That's all I want to say about that. You don't even have $1 million to give away.
Yeah, and it's a shame that that's happening, but she's not. I mean, when the FBI is coming at you, you know, you're gonna have some major issues. Hey, we're about to get ready to come back on the air on Soar Radio for those of you on Facebook and YouTube. So stay with us as we get back. We've got some great things to talk about. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Let's Stay Together talk show. Soul Radio people, where you at? How you doing? Talk to a brother. Hey, a Christian brother, a preacher, and his evangelist over here, Evangelist Brian. We got something we want to talk to you. We're going to be talking about something that's going to blow your mind. So if you're listening on the radio, you need to go to our Facebook or YouTube channel because we're about to talk about something that is just so eerie and crazy. You know, Kenny will put the pitch out there and eventually for us. But there is something that is happening in our world where people are showing their undying love. That word undying. Undying love for people by having them cremated or encased in Cyrillic clear glass coffee tables. And so we want to ask some of the people out there that's possibly listening. Me and Brenda going to talk about it, and Kenny might make a comment once or two. His pictures out there now. They are putting their loved ones in acrylic coffee tables so they can keep the person close to them, near to them. And I just want to know, baby, is this something that you find yourself wanting to do for your loved ones?
Baby, I love you. When God calls you home, I'm just going to keep you in my heart with memories and pictures and just always love you that way. But you being in a coffee table and I'm seeing you and you're not moving and you're just frozen in time, that doesn't work for me. No, I think that's morbid. I think it's really sick because the pictures, it's a full body inside of a coffee table. It's no way I would want to be in that living room looking at that body in that coffee table. And I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it because Evangelist and shipped over to Betty Shabazz. I better not see nobody black doing that because that's not us. That's not what we do. So stop it. Don't even think it. So
well, I'm quite sure in this melting pot world that we have here, there are going to be other nationalities that are probably going to want to do that because they have a strong love that they don't want mama or daddy or their husband or wives to be away from them, and they just need to be there. I looked at this and I'm like, this is so morbid to me. So freaky. I don't know if you all, some of y'all are old enough to me, and you remember the days of Creature Feature. You know, like doom 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 doom.
When they had the hands
You know, yeah.
up. Like,
I mean, how I would not want to walk into someone's house, babe, and see this acrylic thing, and recognize that this is actually their mother in a table. I mean, I'd be too freaked out. I mean, they'd probably be mad at me, but I'm like, no, I can't do this, yeah.
Nope.
I don't care what you could have been throwing me a surprise party. You surprised me, all right, with this. I just can't see that. I mean, I understand loving someone and, wanting to keep their memories alive. But in one of those things there that Kenny was showing, it looked like the woman was almost sitting up.
Yes, propped up and inside the table, propped up. I'm like, nope, that ain't happening.
And we've seen before where they've had crazy funerals. Where they've had the person, sitting up in a chair or sitting up in the casket or
in a car,
on a car, or somebody has a guitar, like they playing music. I mean, we've seen some weird things where people actually, well, instead of having a casket, they'll have the person just like stuffed.
I think they said Martin Luther King daughter was on a lounger.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and it's that's crazy with it itself, but and then they bury them. Okay. There is a casket there and they bury them. But to have something like this, it's just weird. Just eerily weird. I couldn't go to sleep with something like that in there. And I think you said something, what happens if the table break? I mean, I'm assuming most of this acrylic, I don't really know, but I'm assuming most of this acrylic is, very.
She just looked like she coming up. Yeah, that's a 3D picture, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Most of this acrylic is. I mean,
and they got on a pillow too.
Is thick enough that you don't have to worry about that. I was trying to read some of this stuff to see if I can find out a little bit more information on it, and something like that. That's really ain't happening. The fact that it's out there. You know how the art imitates life. People will do certain things. The fact that it's out there, that someone would want their family members to be like that.
It's like she's swimming.
Right. I mean, I don't know. It's just unnerving to me to see something like that. I'm not really feeling information that says now you can choose to bury your loved ones in a coffee table and see them as long as the coffee table lasts. This is a new method of burying your loved ones.
Wait, so is
and
it a
again
warranty?
The unconventional method where we dig earth down deep and place I don't know why they get IG them in their final resting place. What's IG?
Typing.
I know, typo. So, will you do someone like this and any of your loved ones when they pass away?
Nope.
Are you kidding? Now, the thing about it that troubled me, Brenda and Kenny, I'm looking at the acrylic table, and they got that acrylic, that you can put over there, but it says, as long as the coffee table lasts. So that makes me think that this coffee table could break or
within 5
mess
years
up or what you gonna do? Have all of a sudden the table cracks and half of grandma's is on the floor?
See, I'm thinking it's like Madame Tussauds. Did they make a thing of her? What do they call that, Madame Tussauds? A wax figure of the person and put it in the table? That's still creepy too. Or but if that's a real person,
or did they just? I mean, it could be. Now, I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, we're just bringing this up because it's kind of morbidly crazy. It could just be a image picture of them in the glass, sitting there. But why do they have to look dead? All of these people, if these are just pictures of them,
Feet all out.
Why do they have to look dead? I mean, I don't mind having a picture of them in the coffee table of your mother that looks alive, but if you look at all of these things, not only do some of these people look like they are dead, they look like they've been dead for a while. So, I mean...
Wait a minute, go back up. Did they show the red tone on? Oh, okay, never mind.
I'm like, they look like they've been dead for a while. I mean, so I think in one of these places, the lady's hand
Look like a skeleton.
like a skeleton. I mean, here she doesn't have any hair. I don't know if you can see these things anymore, but on some of them she doesn't. The woman doesn't have any hair on the side. Why?
You can have a picture on the wall. That's what I'm saying. You can have a picture on the wall.
Right? Yeah. Who wants to do that? And it says
Is
here.
that in Australia or somewhere?
I don't know. It says now you could choose to bury your loved ones in a coffee table. So this is literally them burying your loved one in a coffee table, or what we would just call some plastic ceramics over your loved ones.
You know what that remind me of in the living room? I had a thing made for your birthday, that clear glass.
Yeah.
It says, Rick, and my special quote for you, that thick glass like that. And that's making me think of that acrylic. Like, that table thin, that's going to break. At least that other one was thick.
Yeah, that table is kind of small there. I mean, it
it's
probably could break.
thin.
But, I mean, that looks like it's just a portion of her in there. I mean, it looks like it's just maybe a picture of her. And again, it says bury your loved ones in it. But even if this is a picture of her, she doesn't have to look
But
like
did they have any comments
she doesn't
on
like
that?
any dead. They have comments. People says, no, not at all. The sight of the table actually in the night will scare the hell out of me.
Yes. Be like, oh!
Yeah. Then the other one says, even the dead are not allowed to rest in peace anymore. This is disgusting. Another one says, to what end? Bury them and let them rest in peace. What's the essence of waking up to see dead people every day?
Ooh, that movie. I see dead people.
The greatest love and respect you can give your dead is to bury them in peace. I was trying to see, was there anybody on here that actually agreed with it? As I look through here, I'm not really seeing anything.
It's horrible.
It is horrible. Wait a minute. Horrible is nice.
And our Rockford Goat just told us. Hey. So I mean, man, that is crazy, isn't it?
Yes. I cannot believe anybody would even think about doing this. It's insane.
Wait a minute. Now, wait a minute. What's the thing we say? Rockford Goat, right?
Yeah.
We love you, Kenneth. We do. But my God, I would not want you in this house, in this table. I'll be like, no, that ain't gonna
You
work.
ain't gotta worry. My mom would never let that even happen. If she was, say if I was to pass before her, that would never even be a chance to happen.
Because I'm saying she have her baby. No, I got his picture, whatever. Well, I don't know if you're gonna be cremated or buried, but whatever
I don't have a problem
it is,
about being cremated.
your remains will be with your mama if you go before her. But in a coffee table, Walker, what's up, Kenny? No. Rick, you at the table, I'm in the table. No, that ain't, no.
I'm telling you guys, I'm looking through all these comments as you're talking. I have not heard one person say anything. I've got one comment that says some people love this. Well, obviously there are some people that love it.
Like I said, is that America? Is that in Switzerland somewhere? Where is this
it's in the world, and so that it's in the world is scary within itself.
Did you notice how many fingers that person had?
I didn't.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What the heck? And then 4 on one hand.
I mean, you don't know.
Oh, Kenneth, you didn't left those.
Yeah, you don't know if I mean, again, I'm not finding a lot of stuff on this, and so maybe this is not as big. I mean, it's out there. TikTok has it out there. People are talking about it. Times in India. there are people that are talking about it. But it is creepy, extremely creepy. So we just wanted to share this with you.
Creep on, creep
A
on.
new thing. Does Arizona keep a man alive in a glass table?
Wow. Oh.
They're saying that there's someone saying that this is false. This one lady in a glass table,
wow.
but she looks like she's just in a glass table. So this does not look like the same thing as the other stuff that we was looking at. But there's a situation that's going around, and we're gonna close this morbid story where people are actually, placing their loved ones in an acrylic glass casing, and so they can be around them every day. And I don't know if this is something that is true or if it's happening. But you know how this world is. You see something, eventually, somebody will think of a way to try to get it to happen. And if this is happening, I would just say, I agree with all of the comments. Rockford Goat, Evangelist Brenda over here, and myself. This is too creepy and morbid. This is, and I'm gonna say this. Forgive me. I'm gonna talk on the other side. I'm gonna let my halo drop a little bit. This is something you do to someone you don't like. Okay.
Oh wow.
I couldn't stand Roger. That's why I put him in a coffee table. I'm just gonna spill coffee and beer all over his butt. Stain the glass, burn it, everything I can while he's in there. And he ain't gonna be in the house. He gonna be in the garage somewhere.
And the table in the garage.
Yeah,
wow.
I'm gonna put him outside so birds and stuff like that can puke on him.
Okay.
That's what you do to someone you don't love. That's what I'm just saying. That's revenge factor. To do that is just a very, very morbid. Hey, we gotta go on. We're gonna play some more music from this morbid situation. We're gonna have Skokie Norval and come back with us and say, "I still have you." Let me tell you something. With all the crazy stuff that is going on, isn't it wonderful to know that you still have God?
Yeah.
And Smokey Norval is going to share that with you. You're going to hear a couple of commercials, and then you'll be coming right back to Let's Stay Together Talk Show. Listen up. We'll be right back. All right, everybody here on YouTube, Facebook. I'm sorry. It was just that I couldn't pass that story. When I saw that on Facebook, I had to share that. That is one morbid, real. What was that? Believe it or not, if that is happening, even the conversation of it is morbid enough that I hope that nothing like that has happened. But I would never be surprised.
Nope, never.
What you got?
But I'm not even surprised with this one. Use the restroom in the back of a plane. Retired black judge seated in first class claims American Airlines crew member threatened her with arrest over lavatory use. Now, American Airlines, y'all need to watch it because y'all got a lot of lawsuits against y'all dealing with black people and racism. What gets me, this is one day ago, this lady, retired black circuit court judge from Chicago, is suing American Airlines for racial discrimination, claiming a male flight attendant told her to use the restroom in the back of the plane, even though she was booked to fly in first class. First thing it makes you think of is Rosa Parks. Go to the back of the bus, they say. We're tired of this. So the lady name is Pamela Hill-Ville. She filed a civil court case with complaint against them because the flight attendant said she slammed the bathroom door. And she did it 3 times because she went to the bathroom 3 times. The ladies claimed she didn't. He claimed that she was disturbing the other guests in the first class. They never complained, but the 3rd time, he got a little bass in his voice talking to her, and she realized, okay, this is a race thing. So we're in the year 2024. Why are we still doing this mess? Why we still doing this mess? Sorry about that. I just want to see his face. Look up there.
Yeah, you go. Look
Why
us
you-
there.
why they doing
You know
this
what?
mess?
I mean, I'm looking at what American Airlines says. Their quote is, "Let good take flight." It says, "Our purpose is to care for people and their life's journey." So I'm assuming that they thought that this black person should be treated the same way in the air that they were treated on the earth. You got to
the
go to
ground,
the
huh?
back of the bus. You got to go. You can't be in this first class white bathroom. You got to go all the way to the bathroom in the back. Now, mentally, you're disturbed when you think about that. I'm gonna make her go to the back of the plane's bathroom, like this is 1950s and Negroes can't use the bathroom in first class.
And Negroes can't even dip a toe in the pool.
And then come up with a reason for your racist behavior. There's always a reason. Well, she did this. Okay, so she slammed the bathroom door, and so you feel because it was bothering other people, as I said, no one else complained. You feel you have the right to tell her to go to the back bathroom. What? So slamming that door is okay? I mean, is that what you're basically saying? No, you're doing that as a racist thing to make that person go to the back of the bus or not be able to come to the front door. It's a racist thing that you're doing. And yes, they should be sued for that. Now, I do have a problem with suing the airlines, and sometimes we sue the people who didn't do anything because of the people they have, but they are responsible for the people they have on there. And it's unfortunate that you need to have the right training for people. But his reasons was unjust because going to the back of the bathroom and slamming the bathroom door, it's going to disturb the people back there. So I think that, American Airlines need to do a better job with educating their people and just, evaluating people. I know it's hard to sometimes find people to take jobs, but you need to evaluate them enough to a point where they're not costing you money. They're there to bring you money, not cost you money. And with the racist way that we have now, especially coming from our president and a lot of, people in the White House, we need to, recalibrate how we act on things and stop going back to the 50s and start moving. Let's not go to 1950 and let's pay attention to how we're going to act in 2050. How about that?
And they not going to do that. I mean, this is really sad, though. And the thing is, because she's black, and this woman is a judge. Not saying that they would tell that she just said she just seems as though she was racially profiled from the whole thing. So I'm like, it's sad.
And I know what they're saying though. They're saying that word OSHIT. She a judge. It's like, oh my God, we really in trouble now. Cause she know the law.
Oh, that's
So-
what they were saying too. She know the law.
All right, YouTube, Facebook people, we're about to go back on the air for SOAR Radio. So stay with us. Stay with us. We may bring that one back for a second. All right, welcome back to Let's Stay Together Talk Show. Your host, Reverend Rick McCain, along with my baby, my girl, my boo, Evangelist Brenda here with me. Her new name because she just be spewing all that spiritual knowledge and goodness. So I'm going to call her Evangelist now. You heard Smokey Norville, I Still Have You. And before that, we heard from J.P. Morgan and Dwayne Woods, Let Go and Let God. We were talking about some good things here. Do you really believe God never fails? And then we came back with this morbid discussion in regards to people encasing their loved ones in acrylic coffee tables so they can see their dead loved ones for the rest of their lives as long as the coffee tables exist or survives.
Doesn't break.
Doesn't break on them. Then all of a sudden you're going to have, the creep show in your house. But we had to talk about that a little. Speaking about something we have to talk about, make sure you watch the JD Morning Show each Wednesday between the hours of 6 and 8 a.m. only on Soar Radio. We'll have Justin, Kenny, and the gang talking about some amazing topics. Probably not the morbid topic like that, but they've got some things they're going to talk about. Who knows? What is P. Diddy doing? You know, what's going on in the gospel world? What's the next special guest from SOAR 2025? There's so much information, a plethora of information you can learn. So make sure you check out the show, the JD Morning Show, each Wednesday between the hours of 6 and 8 a.m. only on SOAR Radio. Also, if you're looking to do your own radio show, you can contact SOAR at SOARradio.com. That's SOAR at SOARradio.com. Contact them and have your own radio show. You can talk about the things you want. Hey, I'm thinking about doing a show called No Judgment, where we can talk about special things there. We've got the Let's Stay Together talk show. We do play reviews. There's so many things you can talk about. It is a Christian radio show, so we say keep it clean. But hey, if you've got an idea of something you need to share that God has placed on your soul, just make sure you contact them at SOAR at SOARradio.com. That is SOAR at SOARradio.com. Hey, babe, what do we have we're going to talk about on our next thing here? Oh, we want to talk about, we can talk about that? Yeah, we can talk about that. Because we got some plays to talk about, don't we? Or do we? One, two?
One and a repeat.
One and a repeat. Okay, yeah. So we'll talk about the Why Did I Get Married? Brenda thinks this is about her.
It is. I love you, but...
I don't know. I love you, but what? I'm going to let you do it.
Say it. You drive me crazy.
You drive me crazy. Ooh, ooh, like no one else I know.
And it better be no one else.
You drive me crazy. I can't help myself. Ooh, ooh.
That's the only way to say
do. Yeah.
Oh, it sure is. Keep it going, girl.
Okay, I didn't pay for the music. I only got about 15 seconds. But you know, we try to do Christian real in everything we do, but you know you can love someone so much. You know, you got that, that Love Jones, that love that'll drive you crazy because you love them so much. But yet that person themselves can do things, Brenda. I know you don't know about that because I don't do anything like that.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
That can do things that will literally drive you crazy. So we're just going to, we're gonna, off the cuff here, have a little fun about it because we know that married couples go through these problems. We're going to be reaching 30 years of marriage between me and Brenda. It's going to be in August. We're going to be going 30 years of marriage. I don't know what we're going to do. I might just fly out to Paris for one day and do the radio show from there.
That's too long of a trip for one day.
That's all the money I got.
If you out there,
I got to get back.
I gotta say
unless I'm gonna stay. We're gonna stay in somebody's little house somewhere.
Bonnie DeShong is there now, and she posted, "Hey, we found the Popeyes."
We found the Popeyes.
Wow. They have Popeyes at Paris.
And so hopefully in Chicago, if you know what Bonnie DeShong is, she thinks she's on WYCA. Was she on WYCA or WBMX?
I don't know where she is.
What those
now,
stations used to be? She used to be Bonnie.
GCI back then.
What did she used to say? What was her title thing that she used to do? Something baby. We'll get back to that. But
hey, baby was something cute.
Somebody will tell us. But people, in situations you could be married to someone. I was saying we've been married for going on 30 years, and you could be in a marriage, and that person will drive you crazy with some of the things that they will do, some of the things that they won't do that you want them to do. You love them. That's why you're still in relationship with them. This ain't a puppy love where you like, oh, this is so cute. That's okay. I mean, you've been there for a while. You didn't went past the 7 itch. You ain't scratching yourself no more. You didn't went past that, the 7-year itch. I mean, you moving forward. But all in all, that person has been driving you up the wall with some of the things that they do, and you had to say to yourself, I love you, but you drive me crazy. Now, I would say something that Brenda never did like. She still don't like it. I would say, thank God you're beautiful. And I'm like, that was me saying to her, you are driving me crazy, but because I think you're beautiful, I'm accepting some of this craziness that you're giving me. And so, babe, I mean, what are some of the things, you don't have to say all the things that I drive you crazy with, because you don't really have that many. You probably about 30 seconds you'll be done. And so I don't want to come off pompous like I'm, such a wonderful person. So, kind of invent some things that you might, in your head. I'm going to give you some time. Invent some things that you might have that you think that I drive you crazy over.
You're a perfectionist.
I'm not a perfectionist.
Oh, yeah, you are.
I think even God, Jesus said he's not perfect. There's no one perfect but God. And so I think I'm perfect and Jesus doesn't. Okay. Go ahead. That was a good one. You did come up with something. So you did. That's good. Go ahead. What else? What do you guys
now,
say?
See, this ain't gonna be a tit for tat.
No, it's not. I'm just,
and
no.
say you do this and you do that.
But I mean, we're having some fun. I mean, we've been real about everything. We're not gonna get to the point of trying to be pushing throwing people under the bus, but just some of the little things that happen that that people drive you crazy.
I'm laughing at this because Catherine and Wes said this is good topic. This is interesting here, and we are loving this.
So you were saying I'm a perfectionist. So why do you say that?
You critique a lot. You don't know you do it. I don't think.
I'm a minister. I do play reviews.
But you critique like how within the mirror sisters, it's like how I would say something and you will correct me in saying it, not like if you say something wrong and I got the right answer to it. Like this is something, okay. Inside of the house, we don't have grounds. We have floors. You would say the opposite, and that drives me crazy.
So which means I'm not a perfectionist. Thank you very much, because I did something that's wrong. A perfectionist would think that the perfectionist would sit there and say that is a ground, and I don't do that. So you just proved my point.
No.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
No.
I don't believe that I'm a perfectionist, but I think what you don't like is that sometimes what would drive me crazy is that you'll say something and I'm like, that's not really what you should say.
Or you will say, that's not what I asked you.
Well,
but this is what I'm telling you.
I'm sorry.
But that's not what I asked you.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Who are you talking to?
America. If you ask somebody something and they don't give you the answer, won't that drive you crazy when they give you the answer they want? Quick. And would that not seem like they're the perfectionist and not you? Because I'm asking you to do something. Say, what do we have for tonight? What are we eating tonight? Well, I didn't get a chance to pull out anything from the refrigerator.
So I don't know what we eat.
That's the answer.
Well, you had to wait until I come around.
Or you say, hey, what are we wearing tonight? I'm still working on what I'm going to be wearing tomorrow. I'm like, that's not the answer. I'm asking you what we're wearing tonight. That supersedes tomorrow. The sun will come out tomorrow. But the outfit we need to wear tonight, I need to know. And she will get mad about that. And that will drive me crazy because she's not answering. And because I said that, it'll drive her crazy. And it's those little things that you find yourself with each other. It's like, I just checked another thing that drives me crazy.
Wow.
We've been doing this show for
another thing.
We've been doing this show for 10 years. I still can't get Brenda to talk in the mic.
To stop looking at me.
I can't
to stop ruffling the paper.
See, I can't get Brenda to stop trying to supervent what I'm trying, to take over what I'm trying to say. So it looks like she said it first, so it don't really matter. I mean, she doesn't listen to me. Now, y'all know that. Some of y'all think that, oh, Rick is so mean to Brenda. That chick is spoiled. Let me just tell you, she's spoiled to death. Spoiled. Let me tell you, ask her sister, brother, anybody knows her. they know Brenda spoiled. So when
Whatever.
he ain't you being you being me, no, she's spoiled. But she don't. I mean, I can't get her to listen to anything. I love her, but she drives me crazy because if I tell her something, it's almost like she has decided to be that woman that will never listen to a man. I don't care what you say. You want me to do? You look nice. I don't really think so. That's not true. That didn't happen. I'm like, oh my God. I mean, it's almost like she's trying to mentally, psychologically destroy my mind
Wait a minute,
to the point
wait,
where I think the way she thinks. She's trying to control me. She's trying to control, and women, you all do that. You try to control a man's mind to think the way you want to think, and if he doesn't, he's being mean. Y'all are trying to control us, and it drives us crazy.
My comment was okay. So are we looking at outfits for tomorrow here? We are going to end up fighting tonight after this conversation. We won't be fighting, and this is not our outfits for tomorrow. But it is what it is.
Now, we won't be fighting because Brenda's going to pick what she wants, and she's going to put little orphan Annie in anything she wants me to be in.
Oh, wow. You consider yourself
She
little
is
orphan
Barbie, and I'm Ken.
Annie.
The only thing that's different is that, the poodle's not on a leash.
Oh, wow.
She's still trying to dress me like her. Like all of a sudden I'm supposed to be just like her. Like, rock, rock, rock.
You sure would be.
And it'll drive me crazy because she will not. She just, I want you. I'm like, I don't want to wear this. I mean, she might have me in some pink pants, pink tops, and some pink shoes, as long as it matches a portion of her pink, which is another thing that drives me crazy.
Wow, you got a whole lot.
But hey, I'm not Aaron. I'm just saying we're being honest. Because I don't drive you crazy.
You do.
The only time I drive you crazy if I don't give you what you want with your spoiled butt.
That's true, but you do drive
Rick,
me crazy.
you haven't ordered this yet? I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. Forgive me, master. I'm gonna put the order in, master.
Yo, hurry up now.
But okay, so what else you got? What does Reverend Rick, the wonderful man of God,
Wow.
Isha Rastai?
Rick is confrontational.
No.
Yeah, you are. You confrontational.
I don't like confrontations. I walk away from people. Now, the only reason why I'm confrontational with Brenda is because I love her. Other than that, you know me. I ain't nobody else bothering my nerves like that. How the old folks you say? You bother my nerves. You bother my nerves. I don't want to be around nobody to bother my nerves. Come on, help me out, somebody. America. You don't want to be around somebody that's bothering your nerves. You just move away from them. But I've been married to her for going on 30 years. She can bother my nerves because I want to be with her. Okay. And I'm like, I got me a good little thing over there. And though she may bother my nerves, she make her brother feel good just by being next to her. So she can bother my nerves. But I'm confrontational to you because I don't let you get your way all the time. You still trying to, what's that, Pinky?
America.
Isn't that thing called Pinky and the Brain? Where Pinky is trying to take over the world, and he's trying. It's a cartoon, and he's trying to take over the world.
Did you just say yeah? Oh my God!
And this is Brenda. She's Pinky. She's trying to take over my mind to make me do what she wants. And I'm just a robot. Where she can program me instead of saying Alexa, she just say Eric. Yes. So and I fight back. So that makes me confrontational because I'm trying to be a strong man. You ain't just gonna run over a brother. Just understand. You ain't running over me like. What else you got, sister? What else? What you got? Something else you want to say? All right. But I mean, the thing of it is that since she's, I did like that she tried to come up with a couple of things to say about me. But the one thing that she can say about me that may drive her crazy is that I love hard.
Very.
You know, but it's just I'm being biblical. The Bible tells me to love my wife as God loves the church, unconditionally. But the other thing is that I'm a person that don't like disrespect. You're not going to disrespect me, and you know you got a beautiful wife. Brothers, can I just say this to the brothers? We talk about disrespect. You know, stop looking at another man's wife to the point where he can see the lust falling out of your mouth. Okay, she's fine, but woof, put your tongue back in your mouth for a second, and you know, you can enjoy the view. Nobody's gonna take away your view. While she's there, you can enjoy the view. You ain't got to say nothing. Shut your mouth. I'm not talking about, you know, I didn't went through this all the time for 30-something years, you know, but I'm just saying, have some respect. And then another thing, and I'm changing the subject, you with your woman. Why you look, come on now. You double down disrespect.
Who was we just talking to about that?
We were talking about somebody. We ain't going to talk about that. But the thing about it is that you're going to have some situations where, you know, the Bible says, how can two walk together unless they agree? Well, two are going to walk together and disagree too. You know, the Bible didn't say that you're not going to have disagreements, because it even says don't go to bed angry. So this is basically, you're going to have some issues with that person is going to drive you crazy. How did we make it through 30 years? Evangelist Brenda, how did you, with all of the things that you didn't bring up, because I'm not perfect. I've got my issues, just like anybody else. Evangelist Brenda, through all of the things that I went through, you went through with me. How did you survive going on 30 years?
Prayer. Lots of prayer. Getting on your knees praying in the sanctuary of my bathroom, praying on the way to work, praying at home at work, prayer. That's how we got through it.
Yeah, okay. That's a cute answer.
That's
and it
it.
sounds like a
if I
good
didn't clock you upside
spiritual.
your head,
It's a good
it's prayer.
good spiritual answer, because you know we're on a you know, a Christian show, and if you say prayer and people are like, oh yeah, Lord, I understand. Thank you, Jesus. Evangelist was telling the truth. I'm gonna say what made me make it through 30 years was that I loved her. I love her.
Yeah, I love you too, but prayer first.
I'm, you know, aside of prayer, which is obviously something you should be doing for your spouse every day, even through the ups and downs. But it was love. It was the love of God that rests in me that allowed me to look over the things that drove me crazy and focus more on the things that I loved.
Let's get really, really serious here.
I thought I was. I didn't
what
just
we
say,
were
Isha
saying,
tata, hey, prayer.
I'm looking at young couples, babes in marriage.
Yeah.
That the things we're talking about, and we're standing on 30 years this year, they would probably be out of a marriage now in 1 or 2 years, because they throw in the towel so quickly now.
Yeah.
That he looked at me the wrong way. Oh, okay.
He said the wrong thing. I didn't like how he said that.
I mean, it's crazy how, to me, if you don't love that person, like you said, and you put them first every day, you love that person, and yes, prayer, and you want to do well and do good for that person. It's like, yeah, me and Rick get on each other's nerves, and we ain't gonna even lie. Day in and day out, we do. But we know, hey, I hurt somebody, they hurt my man or trying to hurt him, and I know, I always say, he's my security. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Like, if somebody coming to me, I know Rick has my back.
Right. And even though Rick is right in front of you.
I know. I gotta see, that's the thing. It's driving him crazy. But I know with no doubt that if some harm was about to come my way, Rick would jump in front of a bullet for me. I feel that. And I'm crazy enough in love.
What you talking about, Willis?
With my husband, that, you know, if somebody trying to do something to, I'm in a fight with you. I'm your, what is that? And Rick will say, no, I would want you. Yeah, I'm your ride and die chick. Rick will say, no, I would want you to get away. Just run. I'm like, no, we in this together. So, and I know some people who would say, no, he got it. I'm like, girl, that's your spouse.
I would prefer you to run away.
I mean, if
anything, run to the car and try to run him over.
Right. We got a plan.
I don't want you sitting up there trying to fight another guy.
We got a plan.
The Lord will give me enough strength that I can fight against the two that I'm dealing with.
I won't have the reverse sound in the truck going off.
Right. I
but I won't even warn him about to roll over you.
I mean, but don't sit there. I mean, the Bible tells us to use wisdom, and you ain't gonna be able to, unless you can find something to hit them with. And we getting off subject, but
that's the love we have. We ain't gonna you don't mess with them.
If you want to protect your person, you grab whatever you can. I ain't saying kill him, but make him feel like eating. No.
One of my friends just recently said, and this is just I'm referring to Vern, that said that I know you love your husband because you always say ponytail will come off, costume jewelry will come off. And it's on and popping. When that comes off, we got a
Wait a
problem.
minute. If any man knows Brenda, if she's taking off her jewelry and stuff like that, I would run.
Okay. Yeah, wait a minute.
No, I'm just saying because she ready to fight.
Yeah, won't even need the Vaseline.
You took it the wrong way.
Okay.
But let's go back to the young people. I mean, you have to be willing to make some sacrifice to get to 30 years. You're going to love the person and they're going to drive you crazy. You have to be able to have those sacrifices. You have to be able to listen. And another thing you have to do is learn what to say and what not to say. And that's the thing that relationships need to work on continuously. Certain of the things that, you should say, you shouldn't say. How you speak to someone, how you don't. I mean, you're going to get into some issues with something. I love how I will say something to Brenda and she'll turn it around like I did something wrong. And I'm like,
really?
And I'm like, how does this work? I mean, it's that pinky in the brain thing. She trying to control my brain.
Wait. Since you put this out there, young lady, you know who you are. I'm going to read it.
Okay.
She said, you ain't going to bust a grape. Talking about me.
Yeah,
I bust a grape for my husband, my mother, brother, and sister. Everybody else I won't.
Yeah, well, I agree with that person.
You better stop that. I'm over here riding and dying for you.
I know what you're riding and dying. You're riding and dying with me by word of mouth.
You really don't think if something happened that I would run away?
I don't think you would run away, but I would. I mean, I think you probably would try to fight someone, which is the scary thing because that's not something I would want you to do.
But I will do it.
Okay,
for
but
you.
okay, and see, America. This is what drives me crazy because she doesn't listen.
I do listen. You told me get in the car.
But you just said you're going to try to fight the person.
If I had to.
No, but I don't want you to do that. I can't.
Okay.
Let me tell you something.
Keep beating you down, and I'm standing there. Get him.
Can I just say that men understand this, and you may have a problem.
I know you don't want your wife fighting.
But I'm just saying, a man will feel more comfortable about fighting against someone if he knows that the person that he loves has gotten away or gotten to a point of safety. If someone's doing something, I feel more capable of fighting when I know you're safe and I don't have to worry about you. Because the main goal is to protect you to make sure you get away.
I know.
It's going to take a lot with me. Now, one of the things that people may not know about me is that I used to have a very bad temper. And she's looking like that and like, ain't this something I use? Like I still do. But I used to have a very bad temper. It will boil back up like a volcano if I'm attacked.
Or you
But
mess with me.
but I don't want to be worrying about someone else. Now, we didn't get all into fighting and stuff like that. And this thing was supposed to have been about love and driving me crazy. And again, the thing about what drives you crazy is that person is not on one accord with you, listening to what you're saying. And so you have to work those things out. But what allows you to love someone and stay with that person, I mean, to love that person as they're driving you crazy, is because the love supersedes what drives you crazy. And you get used to some of those things. You know, you're like, okay, this is not going to change. It's been 30 years and Brenda still ain't listening to me. I'm just going to have to get, I'm going to have to give me some of those those cards, and put up in there like, like, hey, I do that here, and she still don't look at it. Maybe I can get Kenny to talk to her, or Pastor to
listening,
talk
Kenny.
to her, or
He didn't say nothing.
somebody to say something, because, you know how you could just use a surrogate. I'm gonna need a surrogate person that can talk to her. And so this is when you go back to prayer, because I'm still waiting for God to answer my prayer and actually talk to her and say, Brenda, he's been married to you for 30 years.
No, what he's
Don't
telling
you think
you,
it's time for you to listen?
he's telling you that's your thorn in your thigh right now.
That's your thorn in your flesh.
in your flesh. I put
Yeah.
it in your thigh. That's
Okay.
gonna be your thorn. You have to learn to deal with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he might have said that, and he said that's your thorn in your flesh. So you got to deal with it. I said, Lord, take this cup away from me.
Nope, you don't want me away from you.
Not my will, but Thy will be done. I'm saying the cup of not listening. I'm not saying you. If I can just pinky brain you and get you to listen, we'd be okay. But hey, everybody. I mean, the thing about it is that you're going to have situations in your marriage where everything is not perfect. You're going to disagree. You're going to have arguments. What makes it last the longest is a deed prayer and having the love that God has required us to do. That a husband is supposed to love his wife as God loves the church, and the wife is supposed to, what's that word, Brenda?
I don't know that word. It begins with an O.
Yeah.
And an S.
An S, yeah. Submit. I don't know what the word, obliterate
Obey?
might be. Would you obey? Yeah,
Pharaoh.
obey.
Obey?
Yeah, obey. To submit to their husbands, which is still something that's made women leave the church.
No.
Submit.
Stop.
But
The women left the
if you
church.
follow that principle, it helps. I mean, submit is. I mean, we talked about this before. Submit is not a bad word. It's easy to submit to a man who is submitting to God. It should be easy. I found out 30 years that it's not, but it should be easy. But hey, that's what we're going to talk about there. So we're just talking about just having some fun with this. I love you, but you're driving me crazy. You make it through 30 years because you pray and you love.
You pray and you
You-
love.
you allow your
love.
love.
And you pray.
Yeah, you allow your love to oversee any situations that you're going through. And I know that I love her, and I do it in many ways, and spoiling her and things like that, and making sure Brenda's taken care of. She knows that. I know that she loves me because through all of the trials and tribulations we've had, she has devotedly stood beside me. And not just because I'm a provider. I believe that she actually does like me. And she still won't just look forward. Like she has
When
to
you
turn
say
around.
something like that, I want to see you for real.
But I
want to see you for real.
but you're gonna see the side of my face. But hey, we got to go on. We've got a McCain Train song here that I'm gonna let play, and then we're gonna come back and play. Talk about Ife Designs Club 50. We've got some plays, relationship letter, and then we'll be probably ending the show within the next 30 minutes or so. But our song here that I have down here is from Marvin Sapp, "You Kept Me." This is God. He's talking about all the trials and tribulations that God kept him through. And I think, Kenny, correct me if I'm wrong, this may have been the song when he lost his wife. And thank you. And he brought this song up. And so you can love someone and they can drive you crazy. But let me tell you something. When you go through a traumatic situation where you lose someone, you just got to remember that God can keep you. So listen up to the song, a couple commercials, and we'll be right back on the Let's Stay Together talk show. All right, Facebook, YouTube, we're still here. You got any more stories, anything you want to share?
do.
Go ahead, baby girl.
This story is: a man faces prison for committing hate crimes on 2 black women in Florida. Key state, Florida. Florida. That is the state where they are clowning on black people. Court records stated Pierre Lenny intimidated both women and interfered with their enjoyment of federally protected activities. This man went into a convenience store where this lady was working, and his card had declined, and he gets mad at her, walked to the door, and then decide to come back and throw some stuff and then pull out a gun on her because your card not working. So I'm like, okay, now that's some anger issues right there. Now mind you, she black. Then there's another lady that's in a walker, and she was on the sidewalk, I think. She was seated in a park with her walker. He having a fit about that and pulls a gun on her and fired the gun, but it missed her. It's like, what is really going on with you? Why are you targeting black women in Florida? And the thing that get me, he need more than 5 years in prison or whatever. He 60 months in prison. It's like, do something with this man, because if he gets out or don't get indicted for it, he gonna keep doing it. Anything you want to say about that craziness? Huh?
I'm pausing because the grief in me has to just subside a little bit, because it troubles me so much that people have such a disparity toward life, and that meaning other people's lives, that it's so rare you could just get rid of that person and have nothing on your conscience, feel no regret, get so angry that you want to pull a gun out on someone and threaten to probably kill them because something happened to you. Now, I don't know if the lady laughed at him or something like that, but he had an embarrassment because of what happened to him. And now he's going to try to, stop that person from maybe laughing, maybe chuckling, maybe having a smirk on their face, make him feeling embarrassed. He's going to try to embarrass them.
The story does say, even though the card declined, he still took some of the snacks that he wanted and walked towards the door. That wasn't bad enough. You're stealing. Then you're going to turn around and go back and berate her, they say, and make her feel really bad. You're an incompetent cashier. Your card declined.
Yeah, I mean, and hey, I'm sure the cashier was very thankful that's the only thing he did. But, I go back to an old song that I used to sing from my good friend Lou Ross. And it's been sung by many people before. It says, "What's the matter with the world? Has the world gone mad? Nothing's wrong with the world. It's just the people that's in it." We have that defeated attitude. We're talking about, does God, fail us? Has God failed us? We fail ourselves in so many different ways, and then we want revenge for our failure, for the choices that we've made. And this person probably knew that his card was going to decline. I mean, because if I go somewhere and then someone says my card declined, I'm like, what? Wait, we need to check this again. I'm going to be concerned about, I know I got some money in there. There's got to be at least 2 cents in there to pay for this.
True.
I mean, I'm just being facetious, but I'm going to be concerned. This person knew that this possibly would happen and then got embarrassed to the point where I'm going to take things under, I'm going to take control of the situation and take what I want and embarrass the person who had the audacity to be here today to take my orders, the things I wanted, and put the card in there and it declines. Why are you here? You should, I mean, and I don't know if it was a racist thing. Was he white? Was she black?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, and in that because of the world that we live in now, that plays a different part as well. It's sad that we live in this world. And again, this is when I say, as Christians, we need to start getting on our knees and praying more for this world, because we are forgetting the values of Jesus Christ. We're just looking at the values of self and selfishness. Okay. So we're about to get back on the air here. Hey, make sure you tell somebody about the Let's Stay Together talk show every Tuesday between the hours of 7 to 9 p.m. only on SOAR Radio. Hopefully you'll let somebody know. We'll have the guest next week. All right, everybody from SOAR Radio, welcome back to Let's Stay Together Talk Show. Joining us from Facebook and YouTube, we thank you for that stayed with us here on our show. We've been having a good time talking about things. I love you, but you was driving me crazy, girl. You drive me crazy. I mean, and if she looks beautiful and she don't listen, oh my God, you in trouble. I mean, because I know he like me. I ain't got to listen to him. That's what she be saying.
Is that what?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm Betty Shabazz. I know he like me. He ain't going nowhere. I ain't gotta listen to him. Forget him. That's how she acting.
I did
Pray for her, y'all. Pray for her. Ishata. Hey. Pray for her. But we've been talking about that. We're talking about also this morbid thing about people who had their families putting a glass ceramic coffin. I mean the coffee table. You got to go back and listen to that. And we were talking about, and I want to make sure I say this right. Do you really believe God never fails? We walk around as Christians following the patterns of everything that people say and do so we can look like we're faithful. But there are times in our lives where we really felt that God failed us, and we have to make sure, was it that we allowed the situation to defeat us, or should we rise above it and defeat the situation? So we're going to go on right now with my baby, my girl, my boo, Evangelist Brian over here is going to share with us whatever she wants to share between Club 50, Ife Designs. You do what you do, baby.
Check out Club 50 for some great Golden Diva and Devo's articles. Those interviews was really, really good. If you want to read some of that, you could go to theclub50.com. Ife Designs would like to say publicly thank you to New Faith Baptist Church International for commissioning me out to do the pastor's birthday banner. I love you guys. And it ended up being beautiful with the event planner, Tiffany R. Events by Tiffany R. She did the balloon setup with it. It was beautiful. Happy birthday again, Pastor Felder. And happy birthday to Marlene. They share the same birthday. So happy birthday to you guys. But to know right now, Ife Design, we are in prom season. And I mean, it is going to be lit this year, as they say. Prom season is officially on the way here. I think last week kicked it off with a lot of people on Facebook going to prom. So if you need some posters, banners, invitations, I'm your girl to get it done. Let me know what you need. Some prom squad t-shirts. We can do that. You can reach me at, what is it? ifedesigns@gmail.com. If you have my number, you could call or text me. If you on Facebook, you could DM me, direct message me. Everything that you need from what I'm taking is clear pictures, content, color scheme, something special you want on your banner or your invitation, and we could bring all of your ideas to reality. So check me out. You could go on Facebook under the Brenda McCain page, and usually you could see almost daily different work that's being put out there, okay? So next we're going to talk about that relationship letter. This one was kind of interesting, Rick. It seemed like we have a lot of these over the past 3 years, but this one gets me. Dear LSTT, I was at an event recently and I saw my best friend's husband with another woman, hugged up, cuddled up, all in their relationship like a happy couple. He recognized me, spoke, and we parted. Okay, is it me, LSTT? But my friend never told me they had any problems in their relationship, in their marriage. Not that she has to. And he looked like he has been seeing this woman for a while. They were all booed up. LSTT, should I say something to my BFF or leave it alone? Sincerely, what is really going on?
And I just want to say, we are doing great, so stay out of my business.
Oh, Lord, yeah. Okay.
I wanted to make sure I listened to this letter. I'm just responding back to someone for a possible show that we're going to have, which is going to be an amazing show if we can get this going. We're going to be talking to parents who would have children with cancer, and I'm looking forward to that. Sharing about that with families dealing with cancer and their relationships. But with this, you're asking if you should say something to your best friend about seeing her husband with another woman. I think I probably know what Betty Shabazz is going to say with that. She changes between Evangelist Brenda and Betty Shabazz in between the show.
Right.
I believe that I understand the need to tell the friend because you feel that there's a betrayal in that marriage, which is true. I always concern myself about the relationship you have with that friend because some people don't want to hear that, and it could, mess up the relationship you have with that girlfriend. Even if you don't even imagine it would, you all have the greatest relationship. Y'all tell it, baby, everything. But if you wind up telling her that, and she gets mad, like, why are you telling me this? Such and such wouldn't even do anything like that. You just, you go in there like, whoa, what happened? What happened in that situation? So, I'm leery about saying go tell it on the mountain, because I don't know how the mountain is going to crumble. How they're going to react toward that. And so I would say pray on the situation. As a preacher, I'm going to say pray on the situation. Know how your friend feels about that. If you know that your friend doesn't like that kind of portrayal and that's something that she needs to know, I can understand you want to say that. But I don't have a crystal ball answer for this one because the person can take it the wrong way. They should know about the information, but does it need to come from you? Is my thought.
I respect what you said,
Go ahead, Betty.
but if this is my best friend and I know what she believes in and not in a marriage, I'm telling. Because this person is all booed up with someone as if I didn't just hang out with them the previous weekend as a loving couple. Now, only reason I wouldn't would be she's dead. Because it's like we're best friends and I'm assuming she's transparent with me because we have these conversations. But this wasn't all in this letter. But I'm just telling you how I would feel if I seen my best friend spouse out there. And it's like, but the thing with this, he really doesn't care. No shame, no anything. Seen him, just spoke to him as if, hey, girl. And no, it ain't no hey, girl. You with somebody that ain't my friend. Hugged up, cuddled up, just cozied up. No, we don't do that. And then the thing that gets me, for somebody to be that brazen and showing that they don't care, like it's like Carl Blanche. I dare you to go say something. You don't have to dare me because I'm gonna go say something to your wife. That's what I'm gonna do. And what is really going on? I know you got two different views here, but as a woman, and we're good friends, good friends, best friends. Yeah, I would want my friend. I remember when Tracy was on here, she said she wouldn't say anything. I will want my friend to tell me. Because I do not want to be out here looking stupid.
I mean, I don't disagree with your answer on that because I think you can look at it both ways. But would you not be concerned? I mean, what would happen if you tell that and that best friend all of a sudden didn't want to be your best friend anymore?
That's okay. It's all for me and on them to make that decision. I seen something and I told you about it. And you know we're close enough that I'm not going to fabricate a story to lose a friendship. So,
But she might think that you do. That
and if she does,
Brenda, you was always jealous of me and Rick's
Boo,
relationship.
I'm married too, and I'm happy in my marriage. So I'm just letting you know we was just all together the previous weekend. So what is there something I need to know that you wasn't comfortable to tell me? See, that would really be my question if she down the line and say we have some issues and I was too embarrassed to say something. So it's like you can't get mad at me because you didn't tell me, and I'm just telling you as a best friend, hey, your man is out there cheating on you.
And I think one of the things that I did omit, and I remember speaking about this once before, is that I think you might want to go to that person, that the husband, and say, "Hey, I saw what you did, and you need to go tell your wife about it before I do."
Yeah.
And
he
give
did say
him the
that.
opportunity to clean up his own mess, and that keeps you out of it. Now your girlfriend can come back and say, "You knew this. You didn't say anything."
Yeah.
I knew this, and I was going to say something to you, but I wanted it to come from the horse's mouth. I told him he better go say something to you about it, and I was going to check with you to find out what he said. And if he didn't say anything, then I was going to let you know. But I'm giving him a warning. You better go over there and say something to her now, or I will. And be in the same place. So it's not like, yeah, I'm going to say something to her, and then you got to fix. No, she's here, I'm here, you here. You, me, and he. What you going to do, baby? Tell her. Because I'm going to say something. You can do that as well. But
Catherine did say, I agree, Brenda, better to take that risk. I mean, if y'all good friends, best friends, like I said, I would not want my girl not to say anything. Be like, hey, Brenda, you never mentioned to me, and I respected it. You and Rick might have been having problems, but I did just see him out with someone. It's like, And see, I would have to listen to all the details of it, because it's like, with you're not that type of guy to do that. So I would be totally shocked and crushed. But some men, they got a lot of female friends. Excuse me?
well, with me, you ain't gonna hear that.
I know I'm not.
So it's like,
I'm just
you
using
shocked. I'm shocked too. I'm like, I did what? When I do that? I'm gonna use one of those people. I was sleepwalking. That wasn't me. That was the sleepwalker.
Oh, okay.
That he invades me sometimes and wakes me up. I was sleepwalking.
That's your line. Stick with it.
Hey, the only other woman I mess around than Brenda is Faye. And if you know her name is Brenda Faye.
With Ethan Design.
So it looks like we're almost through here. We went through everything. We got a plays real quick. We got a couple of minutes, so let's throw that in there.
Okay.
As I look at this thing.
For those of you who don't know, we are theater critics around Chicagoland with Let's Play Theatrical Review. And last Wednesday, we had seen Joe Turner's Come and Gone by August Wilson at Goodman Theater. And it'll be playing now until May 19th. This play was so good that I love plays that educate you. It was a 4-star play, and I got to speak back to my sister-in-law because I kept on saying, "What does that title mean?" Joe Turner's Come and Gone, and it was a little rhyme that came with it. And my mom had broke that down to me, and I'm like, "Oh wow, this is really real. It's not just August Wilson, being a playwright writing up something to spin a story." But I enjoyed it. It was thoroughly educational, and it was 1912 when it happened. So I love era pieces like that. So yes, it was rated 4 stars.
Yeah, I always love when you say stuff like that. That was really real. I'm like
real.
So like
not fictitious. That
not
you be like,
not
okay,
it wasn't
real.
not real, but it was real.
Really real.
Okay,
really
so
real.
I'm
See,
like,
that's what he does.
Nah,
yeah, see.
Yeah, I knew she was gonna say that, but I'm like, what's the difference between real, and real? The real is not real, but the real is real. Y'all get
real.
Y'all get the realization of that, don't you? But I thought it was a good show. Joe Turner, Come and Gone. Basically, this is a actual thing that used to happen in the South, where Joe Turner, you had a man out there who would grab African American men, snatch them out from a period of time after slavery.
7 years.
After slavery was over. And like I said, one of the things that drive me about crazy, I'm saying something Brendan's going to talk to, but he would grab African Americans from off the streets and force them to work on his fields for 7 years for fictitious crimes that he would say that they had committed. And so in order to pay off the fines of that, they would work on the fields for free, and they would steal black men from households. And that's why they would say Joe Turner Come and Gone. He would come take them and have them work on the field for 7 years, no pay, destroy families, It was, you really need to look back on the Joe Turner come and gone in black history to find out that things like that happen. And Brenda knows someone that knows about that, and I do too. It's just a situation that happened before our time that black people had no ability to fight against because their word didn't mean anything.
No.
A white person can easily say that a black person committed a crime, and they would have to go to jail or to work off that crime that they didn't commit on the fields of people for free labor.
Yeah,
They used to call it convent leasing as well. That they would just lease them out to different organizations and businesses for a fictitious crime to make them work.
Yeah, it's sad. Another 4-star play was sing second time around for this prologue. Just something.
Second time around.
Black Ensemble Theater, The Time
Not
Machine.
like the first time.
A tribute to the 80s.
Only but the
It was extended to
second
May
time.
12th. This was such a fun production. I mean, to see it the second time, it was better. Some things they changed up, but it was better to me. It was so free and relaxed, and you got your party on. Plus, they had Simeon there. But nope, they had, a nice crowd of people there. So it was really good. I enjoyed that one the second time around. 4 stars.
Yeah, it was pretty good. You could tell that they've gotten a little bit more familiar with the show, and they really get excited, and it was really fun. And we did have Ramonski Love, if you know anything about Chicago radio, was there that night with the Simeon crew, and it was just a fun-filled event. If you can get there before May the 12th, you definitely want to go see Daryl Brooks' Time Machine. It is, if you love the 80s music, you will definitely love this. Get ready to get there, dance, stand up, scream out. I mean, they'll enjoy that. It's just a fun event that you don't want to miss at Black Ensemble Theater.
Yes, get there.
So, hey, speaking of getting there, we've gotten there. We've got about 2.5 minutes before the show is over. We want to appreciate the Rockford Goat, as always, Kenny Crawford, for producing our show. We could not do a lot of this without him. I know I couldn't, because I used to have hair when we started this show. And so it's been a good 10 years that we've been doing this, and we want to thank the Lord Jesus Christ for allowing us to do this. It's a ministry, and no matter if you get a million people or just one, we're still out there doing our job, ministering to people, letting them know that Christians can have fun talking about subjects and just being truthful and honest about their love for God, their questions of God, and everything else. And so without any judgment, we come onto the show and just share our words, our thoughts, our opinion with wisdom and honor, we hope, to share with you about the love of God and how you should walk in his name. So we're going to end it with that. The last song is always Kenny's choice, if you get any minutes to do that, or he'll just jump into the next song or there. But we're going to get out of here. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Woo-hoo!
Bye-bye.
Facebook, YouTube, you're still with us. That was the disconnection from Soar Radio. But we're going to do that as well because I got to take out some garbage. Brittany always makes me, do certain things around here. She's trying to be Pinky, y'all. She's trying to be Pink and control her brother. I'm telling you, it's been a hard fight. This girl is powerful in her, and being spoiled. I mean, I didn't spoil it and I didn't create a monster. But pray for me. I mean, lay your hands on me right now. Help him, Jesus. We're going to get out of here. We hope you all enjoyed the show, and we'll see you next Tuesday, between the hours from 7 to 9 p.m. only on Soar Radio, Facebook, YouTube. Good night.
Bye-bye.